what happened is there are many ups and downs occur during this 2500 or so no, time period, and many effort has been made by the acharyas to preserve what they have memorized. And they had a monks convention. The first convention occurred 226 BC in Patliputra by Acharya Stulibhadra. And the story you might know, all right, that it was a 12 years famine occurred in the northern part of the India for monks, particularly Jain monks, whether it's a Digambar or Swetambar, but the Jain monks have a tough time to survive in a sense to get the gochari, and for their existence, you need some nutrients. Then and then you can do meditation and dhyan and everything. And it was very difficult. So to practice their strict conduct, Acharya Bhadrabahu migrated with 12,000 monks to the south. The remaining monks left, that they did not choose to travel south. They remain in the north, and what they did, they relaxed some of their strict code of conducts. They move into the middle of the crowd where they can have an easier time to get the gochari. While the strict conduct for the Jains to live on the outskirt of the village, okay, and only for the grocery they come nearby village, and there are only few houses there at the outskirt of the village, and whatever they get, that's what they take the gochari and go back into the jungle for their meditation and solid continuous meditation. And like I told you, Bhagwan Mahavir did 12 and a half years, not tapascharya. Tapascharya happened. But what he did for 12 and a half years is dhyan. And just you can look at it, whatever Bhagwan Mahavir is trying to achieve, it took this much time of meditation. Then and then he could achieve. And what did he achieve? In a simple sentence, okay, he become knower and observer. Okay, his mind, the state of mind, okay, is completely still, silent. Okay, anytime anybody does meditation, dhyan, ultimate goal is our mind is constantly, thinking, constantly thinking. All right, maybe once this moment you are thinking one thing, next moment another thinking, third moment, all right. Like if I sit quietly one place, let's say I take a samayik. Now I'm doing dhyan during the samayik. I may be traveling 7 times around the world. Okay, what I'm trying to say, our mind is constantly moving from one thought to another thought to third thought. It is not in our control. Everything else can be our control. Okay, even like in the scripture they say Chakravarti king. Okay, he has everything in his power except his mind. His mind is never, or people's mind are not in their control. That's their own mind. And still we cannot control our mind. Okay. And the whole religious effort in one sentence, even when I use the word kashaya religion, One step above that is, can you make your mind still? And when you make your mind still, what it means is your mind disappears. That's the Amani Dasha. Still mind means there is no mind, because there is no, it's an oxymoron statement. Okay. When I say my mind is still, no, you don't have a mind. Okay. When you live in presence, you just living in the presence, that means Amani Dasha. Mind is when you are thinking, that's where the mind exists. Okay. When you stop thinking, mind becomes totally silence. That means mind disappears. So keep that thing in the mind. There is no such things as somebody lives in the presence or in a meditative state who is completely in the present. That means that the mind is Amani Dasha. There is no mind. Okay. So that's the I am, just seeing in a second convention that occurred is 374 AD to 387. That's been about 900 years after Mahavishnu Nirvana, and that happened in Mathura by Acharya Skandil, and Varbhi in Valbhipur by Acharya Nagarjuna. Okay. And I'm just giving you what is being done, what documented is occurring. And the third one, the last one, 980 years after Lord Mahavishnu Nirvana, again it is in Valbhipur and by Acharya Devarthi Gani. Okay. Devarthi Gani Acharya. And all prakrinas are documented, agams and anuyugs are preserved. So if you go to any of these places, there is a good exhibition, and you will see the flavor of what happened in the convention. Like Valbipur, the last convention, like 500 acharyas and monks have, get gathered together and recited what they remember and documented. Okay. And current status is also, we could not even preserve one to one. I mean, everything what they have done it at that time. There are some variations and deviation also occurred, and many prakrinas got extinct. And because naturally, you got to understand, every paper has a certain life expectancy. After a couple of 100 years, the paper is going to disappear. That's it. It's not going to be having the life is proper. Generally 2 to 300. Now they develop the paper for 700 years. But at least the 700 years, when you talk about such a long time period, it's not even a long period either. Okay. So what I means by, when we started the activity on this e-library, at least we are making it, keeping it constantly at your fingertips. You can study it, you can do it, everything. You don't have to spend so much time. That's what in the past occurred. That to if you want to read Acharang Sutra or Bhagavati Sutra or anything else, today you have it e-library which you can read it yourself. It is also available in Hindi. It means the translation of the Mool Sutras are available in Hindi, available in Gujarati also, and about 17, 18 of them are being translated in English also by authors. Not all 45 agams are being translated. So just to give you some of the flavor in that one. Now, let me go further. Okay, commentary on the literature. to study Jain Agams, one has to not only you read the Mool Sutras, okay, and their meaning, but you need to read the commentary that is also written by great acharyas in the past. And there are 4 different types of the commentary. One is the Mool Sutra, original sutra, and there are one type of the commentary is called Niryukti, another type of commentary is called Bhashya, third type of the commentary is Churni, and fourth one is the Tika. All right. And I'm going to just flavor you one chart of each, indicating you what is Niryukti, what is Bhashya, what is Churni, but it is the different types of the commentary, nothing else. They are all 4 of them are the commentaries. Okay. All right. Niryukti literature. This is the kind of the commentary written on Agam Sutras, which is always true. All the commentary is written on these 45 Agam Sutras. Okay. It is in Prakrit language. Poetic form means it is like a couplet, like gatha. Gatha is like always you can, it becomes easier to remember. Okay, gatha, opposed to a gadya or like a paragraph type things. It provides the general meaning of the Agam Sutra. It doesn't provide you specific meaning, just the general meaning in the Niryukti literature. All right. And it contains the historical incidences, old tradition, stories, examples, philosophy principles, and conducts. All those things are summarized, only specific item of that things. Okay. The author is Bhadrabahu II, which is on 600 ED. The first Bhadrabahu happened 160 years after Lord Mahavira. Okay, after Lord Mahavira's Nirvana. That is the first Bhadrabahu Swami. And who is the one who went to South, okay, to take 12,000 monks and made the longest journey, traveling wise. This is the second Bhadrabahu who wrote the Niryukti literature on 10 agams. And there are some independent Niryukti also is written, okay, and independent Niryukti is on independent subject, okay, but it meets the qualification of the Niryukti the way it has been defined, okay. So that's why this Niryukti, now let me keep moving, but I want to finish it, okay. The Bhashya literature. The Bhashya literature is also written on Agam and Niryukti. Sometimes Niryukti is a general meaning, and the Bhashya literature, if you see it, it is the Prakrit language in the poetic form also, but it provides a specific meaning, okay, as opposed to general meaning by Niryukti. And it contains the Prachin or old Anusrutis, Jatak stories, Jatak Katha, okay, provides good understanding of the history of Jainism and conduct and the behavior of monks. Okay, what kind of the behavior and conduct the monk, generally people refer to Bhashya literature of that time. Okay, mostly Bhashya literature is written between 400 to 600 ED, and Sangadas Gani and Jin Bhadra Gani, these are the 2 main authors of the Bhashya literature. Okay. Let me proceed further. Churni literature. Now, this is the first time Jainism has the exposure to Sanskrit literature, written on Agam, Niryukti, and Bhashya. The Prakrit mixed with Sanskrit languages in the Churni literature. And prose in the prose form, not the poetry form, which is Gatha form. That means the Churni literature, you will see. No, this is not 100%. There are Churnis also have a Gatha, but there are majority of the things are the prose form, okay? While others are 100% poetry. Provides a good understanding of social customs, business, food habits, means you will see it in the Tika literature. Okay, what kind of the food at that time people were eating, okay, festivals, and the clothing of the people. The main author is Jintas Gani Mahattar, and that is around 600 AD. So you can just see Niryukti, Bhashya, Churni, and now the Tika literature, which is lot more. But these are the kind of a high level understanding of each types of the uh, Tika literature, okay, or commentary. And the Tika literature, actually Tika, all right, none of the three above. And that is been written by many, many acharyas, okay? And I have summarized few of those things in the Tika literature. Uh, the written on Agam Sutras, written on Tika literature, on Niryukti, Bhashya, and Churni. It is Sanskrit mixed with Prakrit stories. Most important to understand Agam literature, because you will find Tika literature for every particular Agam or most of the Agams, okay, to understand that, okay. So, Haribhadra Suri, which is on 7th century, okay, has written significant number, okay, and you can read all these things. Silang Suri on the 8th century, Abhay Dev Suri on the 11th century, Malladhari Hemchandra 11th century. All are the different acharyas at the different places try to explain the meaning and the purpose of the Agam literature through Tika literature, okay? And you can see on which book or which Agam they have written the Tika. Okay, Abhaydev Siveri, 9 of the 11 Agams commentary is written by Abhadev Suri, and similarly you can read all. Okay, Acharya Malaygiri, 11th century, and you can see, he has written Nandi Sutras and Pragnapna Sutra, Jivabhigam, Brihat Kalpa. All these literatures we have gathered it, put it on the e-library. So it is if you want to study anything now, you cannot complain, I cannot find the literature. It is there now, okay, at your fingertips, okay, and do it. Santi Suri, all right, and you can by yourself, you can read what is actually written in the Agam. Sorry, okay, just 1 minute. I just went too fast. Uh, just a minute, okay. Tika literature, all right. And then you go. Here is the another